Thought it'd be fun to make some tea, slow down together, and chat. So if you want some coffee or tea, go grab it and we'll get into some of these questions. Hey friends, welcome back to my Let's Chat video. I'm so excited to answer your questions today. If you have any other questions, you can definitely put those in the comments and I can answer those in other videos as well. I am so excited to film this because I have something so exciting I wanted to share with you all. So we will get to that a little bit later, but for now, if you have your coffee or tea or something to just sit and relax with, I just want this to be a cozy time for all of us. So the first question is, what are my favorite movies? I really love Lord of the Rings. I really like the contrast that we have between light and darkness. Every time I watch the movie, I'm reminded of our own struggle against sin and the power of darkness, just kind of like the One Ring, and how Frodo and Sam and just even all the others too have to fight against that influence and that power of the One Ring. So I really like Lord of the Rings. Lately, Stephen and I have been watching through Star Wars chronologically, so I'm really starting to get into it. At first, like a couple years ago when I first watched some of them, I was like, it's good. It's good. I'd watch it again, but it's not my favorite. But I am definitely really enjoying Star Wars now. I'm getting, yes, I'm a nerd. You can say it. It's okay. I also really love the first 3 phases of Marvel. Not so much after that, but I really like the first 3 phases of Marvel. I also like musicals like Sound of Music, Mary Poppins, Beauty and the Beast, all those. So those are some of my favorite movies. Kind of along that same line, Maria asked, what are my top 5 favorite nonfiction books? I love this question because I love reading. I've always loved reading. So I actually have to put my tea down for this. So just give me a moment. So I actually have more than 5 because I couldn't decide. So I'm going to go with my top 5 and then we'll go through some runner-ups. Okay. First up, we have Seeking Allah, Finding Jesus. I love this book. It's, just like the title says, Nabil is a Muslim, and he talks in the first part of the book about how he grew up in the traditions of being Muslim, and then eventually he makes friends with this Christian guy, and this Christian guy just starts sharing the gospel with him and answering his questions, and through that process he gets saved. So definitely recommend this book, Seeking Allah, Finding Jesus. Next up, we have Kisses from Katie. Yeah, I always say kisses to Katie. It's kisses from Katie. And Katie is an American girl straight out of high school, and she goes to Uganda and adopts, I think it's 13 children. And she starts like this mission organization too. So if you're into fostering and adoption, definitely recommend this book. She also goes through some of her diary entries as well and talks about just some of the struggles and the joys and seeing Jesus in different things there and how to show love to the people in Uganda. So next up we have Tortured for Christ by Richard Wurmbrand. He was a Romanian pastor in communist Romania after World War II, and he refused to deny Christ, and he spent 14 years in prison, many of those years in solitary confinement. Richard and Sabina Wurmbrand's story is kind of what burdened my heart for Romania originally many years ago. So I really recommend this book as well. He also founded Voice of the Martyrs, if you guys know about that as well. So that is Richard and Sabina Wurmbrand, Tortured for Christ. Next up, we have A Chance to Die by Elizabeth Elliot. This is actually about the life of Amy Carmichael, and she rescues temple prostitutes and orphan children in India. Both of these ladies I just have learned so much from both of their lives, both Elizabeth and Amy Carmichael. So definitely give this one a go. If you guys are noticing a theme, there's missionary stories here. I love reading missionary stories. So with that, along with another missionary story, God's Hostage. This book was particularly powerful to me and just really challenged me because this is the story of Andrew Brunson. Andrew was an American missionary in Turkey. He was arrested in 2016 and accused of being a spy. He spent, I think it was 2 years in prison in Turkey, and the American government was really instrumental in his release. So really recommend this book. I do want to say it's not super graphic, but it was really a really heavy read. I would read like a couple pages at a time, and it was just really heavy. The matter, like the weight of persecution just was really heavy on my heart. And so it was hard for me to read not necessarily because it was super graphic, but because it was just, this is recent. He's still living. This was only 2016 to 2018. So yeah, definitely give this one a go. Give yourself some time to read this book. Okay, we have some runner-ups. The God Knows My Size. This is about a woman in Romania. I guess she was a girl at the time. Girl in Romania, again in communist Romania. And she wanted to know if God was real. So she prayed and asked for miracles from the Lord. This is really great for junior high age. And then the last two I'm going to put together here. We have Reese Howell's Intercessor and C.T. Studd. This is a really old copy. There's newer copies out there. So the cover won't look exactly like this, but these two I had to read in Bible school. Again, missionary stories. This is more about a guy who became an intercessor for the Lord in World War II. And then C.T. Studd going into Africa, giving up, all that he had and going into Africa and getting the gospel into Africa. Those are my book recommendations. I'll have an Amazon link in the description so that you can just go quickly and get that if you want any of those. So Alicia asked me several questions about missions and burdens on my heart. I'm going to go through each one of them separately because they kind of build on each other. There's a truck. So the first question is, how do you stay in a missions mindset while living a normal life? If you've known me or been following me for a while, you know that I have a heart for Romania and a heart for missions, and that I wanted to go full-time into mission work in Romania. So living here in America is definitely not what I had thought it would be. Right before Stephen and I started our relationship, it started to become more and more clear to me that the Lord was not leading me into full-time missions. The Lord kept moving me in different directions and the doors kept closing. So it was like, okay, I think the Lord might be leading me elsewhere. There's a lot more to this story. So if you guys want to know more about this story, put that in the comments so I can answer that sometime for you guys. So now I'm self-employed, and sometimes in the middle of deadlines and the mundane work, it is really hard to keep a missions mindset while doing my day-to-day tasks. For me, it's really important to remember my why. Why am I doing this? What is the purpose? Why does the Lord want me doing these things? When I'm struggling with that, staying in a missions mindset when I'm living here in America, and sometimes it's honestly really easy to get caught up in the trap of the American dream. I don't think there really is such a thing anymore, but the make more money so I can go get the next thing, like a house, and then, do this and then do that and travel. And it's just so easy to get caught up in that materialistic mindset. I think even for missionaries, it's hard to not get caught up in those mindsets as well. But remembering my why is super important to me, because when I remember why I'm doing what I'm doing, when I remember why the Lord wants me to do this and what the purpose is and how I can glorify Him, it starts to even in the mundane tasks. For me, mundane tasks are like accounting. I'm not a numbers person. I'm very thankful for all of you numbers people out there, because I'm not a numbers person, but accounting is one of those mundane things. And so it's like, no, but through this, I can serve the Lord because I can do YouTube. And I can serve the Lord by bringing the gospel to you guys, by encouraging you and exhorting you to walk with the Lord. For me, it's also super cool that I can reach people all over the world. It's not just in Canada or just in my own area here or just in Romania. I can reach people everywhere. I'm reaching you in your living room or wherever you are right now. For me, it's just so exciting to be able to reach women all over the world. And for me, the Lord has made that so clear that that's my mission field right now. It's just showing up online for you guys, showing up online from the other parts of my business. So next up from Alicia, curious if you had any practical tips on initiating gospel conversation. Be present in others' lives, or even if you've seen God use you to be a missionary in ways that you did not expect. So some practical tips for initiating gospel conversation. For me, I'm not wearing it right now, but I do like wearing my Christian t-shirts when I go out and about, because it can initiate conversations. I think specifically for me at choir, because a lot of people at choir are religious. They go to church because they're choir people and they sing in the choir and they do their solos, but there's not that real relationship with the Lord. So wearing my Christian t-shirts has already initiated gospel conversation. So that they'll be like, oh, what does your shirt say? And then I can start talking about what my shirt says. So that's been really cool. I actually got the idea from 2 young ladies at church who do that at San Jose State University, and they like only wear their Christian t-shirts so that they can initiate gospel conversation. Another thing is having a prepared testimony. This can be like your full long version of your testimony. This could also be like a very short version, like here's how I struggled before Jesus changed my life, and let me show you how Jesus changed my life. And just having like a 1 to 2 minute testimony for that prepared, which is actually something I need to do for my Scopus homework. So that has been really beneficial, just praying for opportunities for those gospel conversations. In terms of being present in people's lives, I really like the idea of, if they're on your mind, just send them a quick text or a message or an email or something like that to say, hey, I was thinking about you, praying for you. Would you like to go to coffee sometime? What days are you available? And I think it's really important to be like immediately like, hey, I want to catch up. When are you available? Now, the other person can still be like, hey, I'm really busy, I can't right now, or whatever, right? But it definitely shows that you love and care for them. Also, when you're in conversations with people, if it's at church or otherwise, just active listening. Most of us really don't do well at active listening. So practice active listening, ask how you can pray for them, and actually go pray for them, not just in your own personal life, but like even pray for them right there in that moment. And pray for each other. And then her last question of ways that I've seen God use me as a missionary in ways or avenues that I didn't expect. I think going back to mission work here and just how my location I thought was going to be Romania, and now it's online, which is like everywhere in the world. I think that to me has been really, really cool to see. When I was in Romania, this did not like occur to me at all. And but it was in Romania, actually, there was another group that would come in and help with summer camps and stuff like that. And I just really saw the need for discipleship and biblical teaching, and they just really lacked that. And so that's kind of where the vision for equipping and discipling and exhorting and encouraging you all kind of stemmed from my experience there with that group in Romania. So yeah, it's interesting how you think you're going this way, and the Lord's like, no, we're actually going to go this way, and then that way, and then back this way, and then over here, and you never know where you're going to end up. And it's really exciting, but also really scary. Definitely did not expect to have my location be like online. I'm not even a techie person, by the way, so definitely did not think that. Okay, next question. Do I still feel called to cross-cultural missions, and is Stephen also feeling called? Kind of answered this already with my mission field being online right now. So short answer, yes, but not in the same way that I used to. One thing for both Stephen and I together that we're focused on is serving where we are, especially Stephen. He's involved with a couple different ministries there. So he's focusing on immediate ministry right here at church and within our own body. One thing, and I've mentioned this before in kind of a really brief summary, I think, but we're also praying about long-term in terms of counseling missionaries. We've really both seen the need for biblical counseling for missionaries that are burned out and stressed, and they also, struggle with different things in their life, and because of the pressures that they have and the cultural pressures, the language pressures, there can be a lot more angst in families and spouse relationships. So we've been praying about that. We were thinking about going to Peru in 2026 to visit a missionary family and kind of talk about it with them and just kind of start there. But it seems that we may or may not be able to go in 2026, so we're not sure. But we're also seeing the need to be a little more equipped in terms of counseling before we do that. And if you're from the Bay Area, there's a group or a church in like Walnut Creek, which is East Bay, and they put on this like counseling seminar. They do that every year. So we're thinking about going there for a couple years and just learning more about counseling. Okay, switching gears a little bit now. So this next question is, what is my business and what exactly do I do? So there are several things involved with my business. The best way for me to explain it is that I have 3 distinct branches of my business. So the first one I have is Crokinole. I've talked about it a little bit before. I make a lot of shipping labels for them. We're dealing with a lot of tariff stuff right now, so everything's all up in the air right now with that, but do a lot of shipping labels. I also manage pretty much the entire Amazon account, not quite, like I don't do refunds and things like that, but I will list products on like Etsy and Amazon and on their website. And then on Amazon specifically, I've been doing a lot of work on the storefront and the listing pages and optimizing listings for SEO and things like that. So SEO, by the way, is search engine optimization. So it's a lot of like marketing kind of thing there. The second part is YouTube. You all know what I do here. I make lifestyle videos. I do biblical teaching. So that's the second branch of my business. The third branch, this is what I'm so excited to share with you guys. I've been wanting to get something off the ground for like a really long time. And I've only just this month been able to do this because I've taken the month off of Crokinole. Essentially, I'm a business coach and educator for Christian women entrepreneurs. So if you're interested in this, I actually have my website up, heathergilson.com. I'll have it linked below. But I've created my first offer. It's not live yet. It'll be live in about 2 weeks or so. And it's all about creating your first offer. So if you are a Christian woman in business, if you're an entrepreneur and you haven't launched your first offer, I created this mini course just for you. It's called Create Your First Offer, and it'll walk you through 7 practical and biblical steps to launch your first digital product and grow your email list. I'm so excited about this because I've been working on this for a couple of weeks now, and I'm so close to launching. I have a wait list right now, so if you are interested in that, you can head over to heathergilson.com/faith-business. I will have that all linked below, and you can sign up for my wait list to be the first to know when that launches. I'm just so excited about this because, again, like I said, I've been trying to launch something for a while, and I actually have something even bigger in the works. But it was just such a big project. So I was like, well, why don't I start with something smaller and get that up first? And then just to wrap up, I wanted to go through a few of my own current favorites right now. Lately for music, I haven't really been listening to anything on Spotify lately. Mostly lately, I've been finding like cozy fall videos with either like bossa nova, jazz, something like that. And then I cast it to the TV and I just have that playing. It's just been so cozy for the fall. I've also really been loving baking lately. I've made a lot of different things, and fall just seemed like the perfect time to bake. So been making bread and cookies and muffins and pie and all sorts of things. So been really enjoying baking again lately. I've also really been loving my workouts. I'm doing a lifting program right now, and so it's pretty focused on like arms and stuff like that, but I am so excited to lift heavier each week, but I do have to be careful not to like overtrain. But I'm really excited every time I hit a new goal in terms of my weight selection. So been really loving working out lately. And lastly, I am loving my planter box garden. A few days ago, I planted lettuce and spinach. It hasn't sprouted yet, but hopefully by the time this goes live, I will have a few little sprouts coming up. I'm super excited about that. And I hopefully should have some lettuce and spinach around Thanksgiving time. So that is something I'm super excited about too. Well, that is all. Thank you for catching up with me. I hope it was encouraging for you to see how God can use your work, your routines, your mundane moments, and your conversations all for the glory of the Lord, and to spread the gospel and to encourage and exhort others. Thank you guys for watching. Bye, friends.